In the ecosystem of global diplomacy, there is a strict, unspoken code of conduct. When dealing with a United States president, allied leaders choose their words with critical precision to avoid causing offense. That code becomes rigid law when the administration in question is led by Donald Trump, a leader known for volatile and immediate public reactions. But following a G7 summit in France, Trump broke from standard diplomatic grievances and made a highly specific personal claim about Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. He stated publicly that Meloni had been repeatedly asking him for a photo opportunity. According to his account, the Italian leader was practically begging for a picture together. This kind of rhetoric serves a deliberate purpose. By framing a foreign leader as a sycophant desperate for American validation, it attempts to strip away their agency on the world stage. Meloni did not deploy the usual diplomatic deflections. She immediately issued a direct rebuttal, dismissing the president's claims as completely fabricated and, in her words, made up. Then she offered a definitive statement. Speaking for herself and her country, she plainly stated, "I and Italy never beg." If you watch standard interactions at these summits, allied leaders reliably offer polite deference. They absorb slight offenses to maintain geopolitical peace. Very few European leaders actively choose to publicly humiliate an American president. So where exactly does Meloni get the confidence to strike back? Meloni's leverage is a direct result of her domestic position. True diplomatic immunity on the global stage is purchased with undeniable power back home. To understand her leverage, we have to look at the baseline of Italian politics, starting right after World War II. Historically, political survival in Rome has been incredibly difficult. The system was so volatile that the country frequently cycled through two entirely different governments in a single calendar year. This era was defined by hyper-factionalism. A deeply divided voting public meant no single coalition could gather enough momentum to establish long-term authority. Because these leaders lacked a solid foundation at home, they were forced to look outward. They relied heavily upon the United States and NATO to validate their fragile administrations and keep them afloat. The geopolitical math was simple. A prime minister fighting for daily political survival in their own parliament cannot afford to pick fights with the most powerful nation on earth. That historical context is exactly what makes Giorgia Meloni's current tenure so disruptive. This timeline compares the short, fragmented lifespans of previous Italian governments against Meloni's continuous 3-year tenure, the longest in 15 years. That statistical anomaly is the hidden engine driving her foreign policy. Her tight grip on power provides an insulating layer of confidence. Her political messaging relies on a specific formula. She makes it explicitly clear to her voters that she answers to Italian national interests first, entirely separate from Washington's approval. Because her mandate is heavily secured in Rome, the threat of losing favor with the White House holds zero leverage over her administration. This brings us right back to the clash with Trump. Meloni didn't stay quiet when attacked, because structurally, she didn't have to. But this singular event raises a much larger question. Does this confrontation signal a broader shift in how European leaders calculate their relationship with the United States? The mechanics of geopolitical leverage have changed. A massive domestic mandate now functions as a practical defense against foreign pressure. For decades, European deference was an automatic reflex, driven by post-war necessity and a fear of losing American backing. Today, we are seeing the emergence of conditional alliances, where respect is mutual rather than demanded. It highlights a core principle of modern statecraft. A leader can only punch upward globally if their feet are firmly planted locally. The exchange between Meloni and Trump reveals a shifting dynamic. The United States can no longer extract automatic obedience simply by showing up.